Hello everyone, DQ here, and the lock I have for you today is the EVVA EPS XP. Let me just focus the camera for a moment. We have that beautiful key, and it looks like a normal pin tumbler, but this version is actually the slider version. We have 5 sliders as the main anti-peak element, as the main locking element, actually I should say. And all those sliders have false gate, one false gate and one true gate. As you can see, this wide gate is the true gate, and this small bump below it is the false gate. It may look small, but it's pretty damn effective, and that sidebar catches hard in those false gates. And for a really short summary for those who don't know, the way this works is basically there is a sidebar, this piece here. Usually it's like this solid piece of metal with some kind of teeth, and those teeth need to go inside of the true gate of the slider. And when all of the sliders are in the true gate, the sidebar is able to retract inside of the core, because in the neutral position it's sticking out because of the spring pressure, and it's blocking the rotation of the core in this groove here on the housing. So once you align all of the true gates, the sidebar can retract and the core is free to rotate. This can be done by inserting the correct key or by manipulating the sliders. And that's done just like a regular pin tumbler. You apply tension and you test them for the jiggle. If they are jiggly, you leave them. If they are stiff, they are rock solid, then they're most likely binding and you need to lift them. The way that the sliders interact is they have two main parts, which are this small bump here on the right side, which interacts with the spring. The spring is located in the chamber next to the chamber for the slider. Basically, when you insert the slider, the spring is pushing it in one direction, and when the key is inserted, it pushes it in the other direction and aligns the gate here on the sidebar groove, and the sidebar is able to interact with the element. So when you pick, you actually manipulate and you touch this part here, which kind of resembles a pin tumbler pin when you look it in the QA when the lock is assembled. We do have some drill protection here for the sidebar and for the sliders, of course. I didn't take out the springs, but there are 5 springs, just because I don't want to lose them, and the lock is not mine, it's loaned to me, so I will leave them there. We do have the active sidebar side. Here we have drill protection for it as well, but drill protection here as well. But we also do have this passive sidebar side, and this part is very interesting because it corresponds to the key. As you can see, the key has those nudges here, those cutouts, and those need to match the sidebar. Not only the top part needs to match the beating of the sliders, but the side part needs to match your sidebar, secondary locking mechanism as well. How that works is it sits in the lock, the key is inserted, you turn it, and the sidebar can go into those grooves. As you can see, it fits perfectly, and because it's the correct key, you can rotate. When you pick, that sidebar will actually automatically go inside because of just the pressure, because even when you pick, if you accidentally press those nudges and make the sidebar go out like this, when you pick the main locking element, which are the sliders, and you apply tension, just the sidebar will retract on its own because it has like an angle. But something interesting happens when the sidebar hits this position here, like this part of the sidebar here is actually moving, as you can see. And when you go to rotate the core after you pick the lock, there is a spring-loaded detent inside of the housing, which I will show you in a moment, which compresses this sidebar and makes this little button pop out. And the lock gets locked in this position, and the only way to unlock it is to rotate it backwards from the way you picked it, or find this button with your hook and press it while keeping tension of the core, of course, and you will be able to rotate the lock further. And this is the detent I'm talking about. I will show you right now that it's spring loaded. You can see. And yeah, when you as I was explaining, when you go to rotate the core, we are going to assume it's picked now. So yeah, I'm not not really sure what I'm doing wrong, but yeah, I think that's, yeah, I'm not going to actually mess with it. I will show you when it actually happens when I pick it. But basically, as I explained, when the lock gets in this position, right about here, this detent presses the sidebar here, and thus this small button right here appears. When you pick it, it won't appear. It will be like this. It will flush. Once you rotate the core enough, it will spring up, locking the core again, and you need to actually pick it. As you can see, we have a little round cutout here, and that's how actually the blocking occurs. This round part goes inside and blocks the core. And yeah, that is the secondary locking mechanism of this lock. And I already explained the main mechanism, which are the sliders. The way you pick them is like normal. My advice is to first get all the sliders in any gate. It can be true gate, it can be false gate. Once you do that, you will get some core movement. After that, you actually need to be very precise with your tension, because they can drop pretty easily. I used this hook from Moki for the picking, and basically I go from here in the QA, and pick like that all of the sliders, jiggle test, pick them. For tensioning, I use this wiper insert here on the top, but from my previous picking attempt, I actually used this pry bar to be able to control the core better, but I found out that with this wiper insert, it's enough for me to be able to pick it. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this lock. Pretty cool lock. Thanks to my locksmith friend again for giving me the opportunity to try it. And now let's get it picked. Alright, EVVA EPS XP, the slider version, in device. So let's try to pick it. Just trying to put the tensioner where I put it last time, because I cannot remember. I will start at the back with slider number 5. And then number 1, click, number 2, okay, faucet is deeper now. From what I can feel, it was slider 4 that was not set. Now number 1 dropped. Okay. Probably a little nudge is needed somewhere. Okay. Now I want to show you something else. Because this wok has interesting part where when you try to do 360, as I will do now, you will see what happens. It gets blocked here, as you can see. No matter how much I turn, I cannot turn it any further. So what I need to do now is actually, from the passive sidebar side, I have to press a little button which is right here. And now after I've pressed it, as you can see, I will walk it again. See, you can't rotate it. You have to go there, find it, press it, then you can do full 360. And interesting also is that after the 360 is done, the sliders don't reset and the wok stays picked. So now I have to actually use the key to reset the wok, and now the wok is locked again. So yeah, you just saw me pick the wok 360. Now let's do a quick gutting session. Those C-clips from EVVA are one of the worst to remove. They're really difficult sometimes, but not always. So hope this one is one of the easier ones. Okay, let me put it in the vise so I have more stability. I don't have a good wrench, which I should have, but okay, here it's no. Okay, have it off. Nice. Sorry for that, guys. Okay, we can continue the cutting now. So what I have to do is this wok has two sidebars, so I need to keep my fingers like this on the sidebars so they don't fly off. Here is the active sidebar with the sliders, and on this side we have the passive sidebar, which works the core rotation at that point, which I showed you. So I will remove the passive sidebar first. Here you can see that it acts as a key control as well. If those nudges on the key are incorrect, it won't be able to retract. And here is the active sidebar on this side, which I'm going to pull out. It has some springs, of course, and some teeth that interact with the sliders. And this is what happens. This thing gets pushed, and you need to push it back to be able to retract the core. And what pushes it is this spring-loaded element here. You see? Inside of the core, this part, spring-loaded. When you rotate, it pushes the passive sidebar, just like I showed you. Yes, like this. It pushes it, and this pushes inside of the wok and locks it. Okay, so let's take out the sliders now. Slider 1, slider 2, slider 4. Whoops. This one is a little hard to get out. Okay, I'm just gonna push it with the hook. If I I can grab it under. Okay. This is slider 3. Slider 5 is the last one. Here we have it. I won't take out the springs, but I will show them to you. They are right here in these small chambers. They are just tiny springs. There is no need to take them out. I will just show you one of them so you can get an idea of how they look like. And basically they push the slider. Slider gets pushed by the spring on this part here, and this is what interacts with the key and what you actually pick. You can see that we have a false gate and a true gate, and that's for every single of those sliders. We have false and true gate. False, true gate. False and true gate. And false and true gate. And those false gates grab pretty hard actually. They're pretty good false gates. And here on the core we have the passive sidebar, which is active when this thing pushes it in and locks the rotation of the core. If you don't know about it, this lock can stay picked, but you can't do full 360. Here is the groove for the active sidebar on the right. And here we have some other grooves for the sliders, I believe, because when you pick them, they can actually stick out of this core in some positions. And if you didn't have those horizontal grooves, the lock wouldn't be able to work. And yeah, we have some pretty nice drill protection here and here on top as well. Here are the chambers for the sliders, chambers for the passive sidebar, springs, active sidebar, and also you can see that the key perfectly matches those knobs on the passive sidebar. So it basically every key has its own passive sidebar, and if you insert the other key which has the same beating on top but the side beating is different, the lock won't open because the passive sidebar will be sticking out, blocking the rotation of the core. And yeah, that's the EVVA EPS XP picked and got it. Thanks again to my locksmith friend who sent me this lock. And yeah, that's about it. See you in the next one. Bye bye.